Good morning. Welcome to the show. It's Chris Denman live in St. Louis. It's We Are Live. Happy Thursday, everybody. Lots to get to today as we're live from the Midcoast studio in Grand Center, St. Louis, Missouri. Quick reminder, Mia Jackson tonight headlining Marvelous Miss Mia with Sarah Perry, Libby Higgins, free toasted ravioli from Anthonino's. This evening, Kransberg Arts Center studio. Very excited. Still some tickets left on Metro Tix. Get those and come out and have some fun with us tonight. Lots to get to today. Joining us live from Brooklyn, New York, Travis Terrell. Good morning, Trav.
Brooklyn in the house. What?
Your excitement is palpable, I believe they say, from the P.F. Chang's in Brooklyn, New York. Live in studio with me, Chris Gardner. He's the producer, and he says hello to you all. Good morning, Guardsy.
I do. I say good morning to you, Chris, here in St. Louis. I say good morning to you, Travis, in Hipsterville, USA.
Yeah. I don't know if you want to do that bow if you're at a P.F. Chang's. I don't know if that's something you really want to do, Travis.
Appropriation.
Yeah.
And I say hello to my walnuts.
Wow. Walnuts. Hello.
Oh, did Chris do it? Did you do a walnuts thing?
Yeah, I flew the flag a little bit. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So there we
How
go.
about that? And I'm sorry that this is what it has to be because I can't do the other thing.
What can't you do?
Like wrap your fingers around or, you know, how you...
So for those of you listening at home, Gardner is struggling with putting his
Yeah.
ring finger over his middle finger. Oh, no.
Looks
Wow.
like I have
He's shaking.
arthritis.
He's shaking.
I think I have tendonitis still in my thumb, though.
What from? All that college tennis you played?
No.
Smoking with the Moroccan dude?
No, that did happen. From picking up my backpack with the thumb.
Oh, no.
And
Travis.
sometimes, and then the pressure on it, and also from holding down the accelerator on the Lime scooter, I think. So I think both of those combined have caused some tendonitis in my thumb. But we make do.
We certainly do. And Travis, I hope you had a wonderful night in New York last night. I know here in the Midwest, St. Louis, we have listeners in Jefferson City. Really rough night of weather. So anybody tuning in, I know we've obviously the majority of the folks that listen and watch this show are here in St. Louis in the Midwest. So hoping everybody is feeling okay, dealing with storm issues accordingly. It's never fun, and it happens quick, man. Did you wake up last night at all, Gardner?
I did not.
Apparently bad. Like there's highways closed from flooding, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
That's why I was like, man, I don't know if that's a good sign that I just sleep through things.
Yeah, there was no waking me up for any of it. I took some NyQuil, and I'm already kind of comatose when I sleep, so the NyQuil sleep. I woke up, I was like, oh, what's going on? You see Jefferson City's been hit by a tornado. You got flooding all over St. Louis.
It worries me that, like, if a big earthquake does happen while I'm sleeping, that, you know, I got no shot. Now, Travis, have you, do you sleep through all the noise in New York? Does that bother you at all?
Oddly enough, Brooklyn is very, very quiet at night. It is not too crazy. Yeah, the city. I mean, I've been around Manhattan late into the evenings, but it's nothing any different than you would probably hear living in most major cities. So I haven't had any restless nights so far here in Brooklyn. It's pretty quiet. It's kind of almost suburban quiet at times.
Ooh, that's nice. I actually freak out a little bit every time I go home to my parents' house. I'm just like, there's silence in the country. It's so crazy.
It's a lot of families. It's a lot of families scattered throughout Brooklyn. So, you know, kids are still in school. Parents get up very, very early. So it isn't as if the streets are popping like that. But I've been told that once school gets out, weather gets a little bit better, then, you know, people go a little bit later into the evenings. But, you know, it's nothing different than.
Lost Travis on the feed for just a second. Our fair or foul today, we see some of our friends like the great Chris Davis of KSDK tweet about this, and we kind of laugh about it, but it's a real thing. I actually, Gardner, I'll let you handle it, man. What's your fair or foul today?
I'll get to that. Sorry, Travis, we lost you there for just a moment.
No, and also I got to figure out when that does happen, I got to make better faces.
No. I
That's the
appreciate
beauty
the
of it.
frozen goodness.
That should be sponsored.
That's what I get.
Yeah.
Like we could go through it at the end of the week, like the sentence of the week, which I don't think we're going to have this week because you only have 2 words on the list.
Wow.
But
Nice. And then I think those 2 words were added by some other people, wasn't
yeah,
things that I said.
you've had not to jinx anything, but you've had a really good week.
It's still early.
Yeah.
I'll say that.
Well, it's we're running out of time here,
Still
so
early.
that probably gets bumped till next week. But maybe someone could sponsor the faces of the week for Travis.
I think I like that idea. I think we should let's start getting screenshots when the screen freezes up on me. And let's just do a collection, a gallery, and then post them on Friends of WAL at the end of the week. How about that?
I think that could work because here's the thing too: is that the system that we use, which is called vMix, little inside baseball here. There's a button like right in front of me that allows you to screen grab what's being shot out immediately. So all I have to do is click it, and it just logs everything. So we might.
I think we should do that. Yeah.
I think we could actually make this happen now that you're saying it. Oh wait, hold on.
Wow.
Hold on.
Do we have Johnny Brox?
Got it.
Do we have Johnny Brox sponsor it, like to get him a mask, or do we have a plastic surgeon's office kind of like, don't let your face end up like this? Like, how do we? What's the path we take?
Well, I think.
What was the thing called on the league? What was the face that you would make
Vinegar
when you
strokes.
reach?
Vinegar
There we
strokes.
go. Maybe we can find a vinegar sponsor.
The Many Faces of Travis Farrell, sponsored by Crisco Vinegar.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works, but we'll look into it. We did have a melee yesterday, I believe, that caught some fire.
Real quick though,
We've got another one today.
I need to put the fair foul out.
Oh, okay.
Because I didn't get to that point yet. But you had mentioned Chris Davis, friend of the show, tweeting some stuff out recently about people calling into the newsroom while severe weather coverage is going on and interrupting the show, let's say like Jeopardy.
Oof.
Especially with the guy having the streak go. People not happy at times, and they're calling in and letting them know. And it always reminds me of that call I heard in Texas about the lady upset that Criminal Minds was getting interrupted, and she didn't care about those people in Winnie Pooh. But that happens everywhere, it seems. And so the fair or foul is calling a local television station switchboard to complain about severe weather coverage interrupting your TV show.
I want to rant so badly on that. And I understand, like, at first, when Chris Davis spoke of it on our show, we, of course, laughed about it because it's clearly very silly. But living in Missouri, considering the severe weather that we often get this time of year, you have to be very callous and soulless individual to care more about Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune when there are counties within your own state that are facing serious and potentially fatal weather, something we saw, of course, last night in Missouri. So to all those people who do call into news stations when this is taking place, you can suck it and go to hell.
Okay. I'm not gonna deny that. Stop it. Impede it. Travis, you got a point.
What are we 6-7 years removed from what took place down in Joplin?
Yeah.
It's horrible.
So that was one of the most terrifying experiences in this state's history. And I think Joplin actually got some tornadoes last night.
Yeah, Golden
State
near there.
So it's just incredibly, it's beyond insensitive. It's really dark that you care more about a game show than the lives of your fellow man.
Yeah.
Who need to know this information in order for them to protect their families. People are sick.
I would say this about me, like if I was in high school, like say a sophomore in high school, and it interrupted a game I was watching, I'd probably be pissed off. But I hope that people would understand that I was young and an idiot and probably an ass at times during that period.
Would you be pissed off enough to call a station though?
No.
Okay.
I mean,
that's one thing to be pissed off internally and be like, "Oh God, here we go again." It's another thing to pick up the phone and call a news station and complain about it.
I've only done that once, and that was when I was drunk at 34 Club RIP and called Dave Murray to ask why it's 1 degree and 0 degrees when 0 is less than 1 and why is 0 plural. and it's a scientific scale, shouldn't be consistent throughout. I was drunk when I made that call, so I blame the alcohol. So that's the only time I've ever called a news station. I wasn't even complaining. I was trying to settle a bar argument. So I don't
And
know
that's
if
why you call Dave Murray.
yeah, I don't think that's as bad as, calling about the coverage though, interrupting your TV show, especially if you're sober. So I don't think my call was as bad as some of the other ones then.
Hey, man, do you? You got to answer to your God.
He's got a point.
Which would be none.
Okay, well, there it is.
Well, you're a Christologist.
Christologist, yes.
There you go.
That sounds like
Christologist.
Are you a Christologist when you go to the club?
I was gonna say, yeah, yeah. Sam. My guy Sanders down at the club. He's a Christologist. Takes care of me in the VIP. Hey, Sanders, you're the best Christologist I know.
Thank you, Travis, for that.
So fair or foul today, you get $10 to Southtown Pub as your prize. Actually, you know what? We've got the big show tonight. We can give away 2 tickets to Marvelous Mrs. Mia. Let's do that. 2 tickets to Marvelous Mrs. Mia for fair or foul today. We'll make sure you come out, have a good time. And if you get there around 7, free toasted raviolis. And Travis, your favorite pronunciation, spanakopita.
That is, or they are delicious.
Spanakopita.
Yeah, nice.
That's good. Now nailed it. That's right. It's a spinach pie, Greek savory pastry. Traditional.
She was the DJ. She was the DJ in Salt and Pepper.
Yes, that's absolutely true. Dated my man Sanders, the Christologist, for a little bit. So there's that. So get those fair or fouls in, wall at weareliveradio.com. We do have a melee today. Which city owns a sexier accent? That's on Twitter at weareliveradio. Your options, Gardner.
Boston or St. Louis.
Oof.
Boston or St. Louis. This in honor, of course, of the Blues Bruins Stanley Cup pairing in the Stanley Cup final. So.
Chris, you do your Boston accent. I'll do my St. Louis.
I don't go to the car park. I don't know, man. We saw these jerks. They took the banner, and I bet there's a reward. We're gonna have to get paid to get the banner back. Or the World Series ain't gonna happen. Remember those guys?
Yeah, the guys who stole the banner and then tried to get free playoff tickets from the Red Sox.
Right. Oh my gosh, just trash, just absolute trash. I don't know. I was sipping a beer. It was a good day. My mom
I just happened to fall off a truck.
Yeah, exactly. So, what's your St. Louis accent, Phyllis?
Man, first I got to go earn some money later today, and then I'm gonna jump in my car, and then I don't know.
Where are you gonna get lunch?
Some Provales.
Where are you getting lunch? Where are you getting that St. Paul sandwich?
Man, I'm getting it from the Chinese shop.
You said, I will say, I responded to you on Twitter the other day because you said Chinese food. You haven't eaten the Chinese food in New York yet, and I applauded you for saying Chinese food instead of.
I'm very outnumbered here.
Yeah. Well, you're getting better though.
By a lot.
We should applaud your evolution, Travis. I mean, positive reinforcement is what keeps things moving along and in that direction, right? And I think that needs to be pointed out.
Thank you. That's good because we have one host who is absolutely adamant about sneaking it into punchlines when he does stand-up.
Was it funny?
I'm looking at you, Denman.
What's going on?
I wish I could say the N-word so I can have some funnier punchlines.
Yeah, I mean, I can't possibly get a laugh without using the N-word. That's all I wanted to get across, and I'm glad you understand that. Respect it.
I can't wait for this 5 minutes now.
Yeah.
It's just 4 minutes and 30 seconds of N-word.
Why do you think I stand up for comics being able to test boundaries? I've just been doing it for myself. I have an agenda.
He's setting it up so that he can do it himself when he does it. This is a long con here.
A real long con. Yeah.
This is Chris tapping into his Clint Eastwood. He's tapping into Clint. His inner Clint.
I've got a chair prop that I'm going to bring out on stage and be like, this Here.
Oh, the Republican National Convention all over again.
Tell you what, we'll be joined by Mia Jackson at 8:30. She went and did Bud and Broadway. They're on 92.3. So big thanks to them for having Mia by to promote the show. Mia got bumped from. We love Fox 2. We've been on there a million times. They're always great to support local comedy events, everything like that. This they had to bump Mia's appearance because of storm coverage, man. Like, I know that sounds trivial, but I mean that's serious. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I have a few photos from. I have one photo from KSDK, which is the aftermath of some of the damage in Jefferson City. This is near a filling station right there. That's one shot they had. Another shot they provided, and I did see this video online, was a lady by the name of Jacqueline Morrow. She got a video of one of the tornadoes, because I think there's multiple tornadoes from some of the stuff I saw. And it was kind of wrapped. It was dark, so only you would only see it every once in a while in the lightning. And in one of her shots, she grabbed this when a lightning strike
Oh my
came.
God.
And you could hear the audio on her video, and it's kind of silent. You kind of hear the background noise of things that are going on. But the lightning strikes, and then you see this, and you just hear her go. It's like a gasp, and that was it. Like no cursing or anything. It was just a gasp. So that was, and I think I saw pictures that showed that there were at least multiple tornadoes that were in that area. So
yeah, that's scary. Joining in studio, the intern and press delivery guy, Tommy Mosslander. Tommy, you're on your first ever press tour. It was cut short due to storms.
Yeah.
And the good people at Bud and Broadway did a quick FM radio morning hit with
Yes, they
Mia,
did.
and you're back by 8:19 a.m.
I was told that it would go from 7 to 7:30, and I left at 7:09.
Yeah, hey, coverage is coverage, I guess, man. So if you guys want to be
Morning, Walnut.
part of the fun in the
Ah.
comments, be sure to drop us a line if you've got any crazy pictures from the weather. Obviously, hope everybody's okay.
I will say this. There's some serious aspects that involve this story. There's some levity at times, though, too. And I think some of that comes from live shots when you're doing reactionary shots, especially on television. I'm watching the 2 Fox this morning, and they're interviewing a guy who looked to be like in his early 20s, maybe late teens. I thought early 20s, though. Still living at home. And their house got hit by a tree. And so he's talking about the tree hit the house, but also they had 5 cars, I guess, in the driveway, and hit all of the cars as well. And so I'm like, oh man, this is something. And then he's asked about the stuff leading up, like what were they doing to react to what they were hearing. And so he's like, oh yeah, you kind of sleep through the first one, you're kind of used to it. I got to go to work, it's late at night, and so then it goes off again, though, and then my mom comes running into the room and says, we got to get downstairs. So we run to the basement. We leave Grandpa in his room, get down the stairs of the basement. And I'm like, wait. You don't just gloss over the fact they left their Grandpa in his room and got down to the basement without Grandpa.
Nah, he's ready to go.
Well, that's why I have more questions. Like, is Grandpa like a bastard?
Right. Yeah.
Does he want it this way, maybe? I have more questions now about that than I do the other stuff because you didn't really dive into it. You can't just say, yeah, we left Grandpa in his room, and then we took cover without explaining,
It's called weather hospice.
Is it?
Yes.
Did you just coin this?
Yes, I did.
I like it.
Yes.
It'll fit in our lingo.
All right.
So it's basically, if I understand it correct, Tommy, you just leave your grandparents in the path of a storm, and if it's their time, it's their time. If they survive, they survive.
Yeah, they've been here long enough.
Oh.
Most scared you've ever been in a storm, Gardner?
Probably.
I feel like you have a list of 7.
Elementary school. O'Fallon, where I grew up, OFMO, OFC. Got hit pretty bad once. Yeah, hit multiple times, but pretty bad. And it was one at night too, and my friend's mom had come over to drop some stuff off. We lived in kind of a big area of land there, like 17 acres when this happened. And right along Highway 70, there's a quarry there, Fred Weber Quarry. People might see it sometimes when they drive along 70 or along O'Fallon. We lived right across the street from it. And it hit across the highway, but right as it was getting ready to hit, I mean, it's all those cliches you hear and all those markers you hear about what a tornado is going to do, like the silence before and then the rumbling that occurs right after the fact. That's exactly what happened because we were walking my friend's mom out to her car, and we heard the silence, and then the lightning was striking, and we looked across the highway, and we could see it across the highway, and we all ran back inside, and then I leapt, I think 12 stairs. I just jumped. I was so scared I just jumped down to the basement, like skipped the stairs. I don't know how I didn't break an ankle.
Yeah.
I don't know what I was doing, but I was just
Most athletic thing you've ever done,
man,
and scariest
to somehow
storm story.
stick the landing,
Yeah.
and something like that. But the fact that I did that shows you how scared I was at that moment.
Got right after it. Travis, you have any memories of that stuff?
I specifically don't because I grew up in the city, but I do want to kind of sort of rewind that we're seeing a theme out of Tommy when it comes to the elderly. that when it comes to older people, Tommy has no problem either them vanquishing or taken advantage of. And so I'm trying to understand why we as a show would be okay with normalizing how Tommy consistently abuses the elderly.
Right.
I don't think it's that.
All right.
Tommy, I won't dig too far because I don't want to put you in an awkward or uncomfortable position.
Okay, let's do this.
But Tommy has a unique perspective on life that maybe we don't have.
Yeah.
He has battled certain things and still facing some things that gives him a perspective that maybe we don't. And he looks at maybe life and death and stuff like that a little differently than us.
Yeah, I'm the three-eyed raven.
You just coined a phrase where essentially you leave the elderly within the path of destructive storms.
I tried to.
And less than a week ago, you explained to us how you happily help your grandfather extort your grandmother.
Yeah.
So technically that one isn't me abusing elders, it's me assisting in abusing elders.
So you're an accomplice in the abuse of elderly.
It wasn't my idea.
So,
All right.
So there you have it. Our intern is
Point's been made.
against the elderly.
One time I drove through a storm on the way to a comedy show and almost died because I got stuck in water.
Really?
That's a problem.
Yeah.
Generally.
How high was the water?
Like 4 inches.
How'd you get stuck in?
What do you mean, how'd I get stuck?
Was it just that it over...
I just couldn't, like my car stalled.
Oh.
So I was
Was
like,
it flowing pretty quick?
I wasn't going to get out because it was dirty water.
Okay.
I'm trying to think as far... yeah, Travis, just take it in, buddy. Just take it all in. I'm trying to... Did everybody go to the basement growing up? Were you guys basement people?
Yes.
You're like, get in the basement. I just remember if there was a cloud, my mother took us to the basement. I'm like, what about the dogs? She's like, they're gone. Leave them. Not really,
God.
but yeah.
That's how my family was.
Be a lot more interesting if it was.
How did you and your brother fit in the basement?
Ooh, it's a snug fit, my man.
Get extra grease.
Yeah.
Slide it on the walls and the railings.
That's why his
Go
mom...
to your pen, Chris.
That's why his mom wanted them in the basement.
Right.
So we get between both of them as more protection.
Held the house down.
Yeah.
We were anchors. Don't
Stabilize
forget
it.
that.
I like that.
I'll never forget the time I was probably single digits years old. I don't know, 6, 7, 8, something like that. And I was at my great grandmother's house in Festus, Missouri. She full on German, very even keeled, nothing really bothered her, very straightforward. And I had just learned that in a tornado, it sounds like a train's coming, right? Like it resembles that.
Train
It
coming?
there was a thunderstorm, and an actual train was near her house, and I was like, "It's here! It's here! Everybody take cover! It's here! I learned this in science. It's here!" And it was an actual train. I'm like, and it's even got a horn. Hurry! It's making stops.
It's either a tornado or the Blues just scored.
Yeah. Literally, like, I don't know, there was a train half a mile away.
Well,
and I
that's
was like, it's so close. Like, I'll never forget that.
It didn't help that the first place we lived in O'Fallon, the back border of the property was train tracks.
Right.
So
how many pennies lost their lives back there, you miscreant?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you
I
turd.
would go hang out back
Yeah,
there.
I was a good kid. I was scared of things like that.
I was scared, but I still went back there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Poking your dead bodies?
I
With a
never
stick?
saw any. I don't know how I survived living on that property.
Where you did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because there was room for me to get lost.
Yeah.
We had a lake and a pond, and the quarry. I mean, a giant hole in the earth was across the street from me.
Oh, okay.
Dump trucks constantly going by.
Got it.
Somehow I survived.
That sounds fun.
That's a rough life I lived, Tommy.
I'm sorry.
I've come out this way. You're welcome.
That's right. You know what's not rough, guys?
Oh.
Gateway powder
Oh,
coating.
boy.
That's right. Gateway
there
powder
it is.
coating. They support us. You support them. You know the drill. Hey, maybe you've got some drill bits that need touched up and powder coated. Fast, durable, affordable. Don't forget Gateway powder coating whenever it's time to get your smokers, wheels, anything metal that needs powder coated. Take it to Gateway powder coating. Say hello to Mark and the fellas out west of here. That's right. GatewayPowderCoat.com is where you find the #1 resource for powder coating in the Midwest. That's Gateway Powder Coating. Thanks for supporting We Are Live. Getting into a lot this weekend. It's going to be Memorial Weekend. We've got a big comedy show tonight. Travis probably has a million different things happening, but most importantly, I need to know, we'll get to the melee results, but are you still mad about Ben Fred co-opting your fair or foul?
I won't acknowledge Ben Fred. I won't spend time on my very successful show acknowledging the enemy anymore. I gave him the time. He knows where I am. If he wants to step to me, he can jump on an airplane. In fact, I see he's going to be covering the Stanley Cup Finals for the St. Louis Post-Dispatch, so he'll be coming up to Boston. So if he wants to hop on a train and head on down to Brooklyn afterwards, he's more than welcome to meet me somewhere in Bed-Stuy. But here in New York, we don't look down at peasants. We don't look down at hayseed hacks. It's freaking New York City, bro. So this is the most time I'll give Ben Fred going forward. But let him know that if I see him in the streets, I'm slapping the taste out of his mouth, or he's giving me $500,000. He can choose one of these.
Oh, wow. There you go. So it's perfect. Get that screenshot.
Got
We're
it.
going to get Faces of the Week
Got
for the
it.
Travis Terrell mosaic. Oh, it's so perfect. Oh, I love when he freezes.
Hold on, I need him to come back. I
Yeah,
have a-
there he is.
It's always when you're making a point, too. It's so wonderful.
Yeah, I don't know why it works out.
It's
so
like, I think it's like automatically since it's like, we've had enough of this jackass.
well. Yeah.
I will give you this, though, Travis. Another picture
Okay.
of your nemesis.
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 There you go.
Oh, yes. Ben
Are those
Fred.
Cheetos?
Oh,
Beans?
my. Oh, he's got the Michael Scott vacation dreads.
Cheeto, Dorito,
Oh.
nacho
Oh,
things.
man. Yeah, that's the color. That's the Crayola new color. Wow. Travis, how do you feel? You got Ben Fred in a cutoff T-shirt, probably in Destin, Florida, with some orange beads, obviously some kind of a bowl cut haircut, and not. They look like they're maybe Joekleys. He's wearing the Oakley style sunglasses from the late '90s that we all know and love.
Those are
I don't
vacation.
know him.
That guy, I can't believe that grew up to be a talented, handsome sports writer. To hell with him.
Oh, wow. Talented and handsome. Okay. Gardner, we checked the melee results a day after now.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Well, we did a melee yesterday, and I'm going to bring up those results right now. The melee yesterday was, in terms of St. Louis Blues rally songs, is Gloria or Take Me Home Country Roads a better overall tune? So we pitted two songs against one another. It was 74 to 26%, and the winner is Gloria.
Wow.
Gloria, Gloria, da 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 da, 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 Gloria, Gloria.
Good job, guys.
That was good.
I think
Yeah.
the Blues are
That
going
was
to
well
take the
done.
cup. They'll win it. They'll sweep it in 4 with
Thanks,
that
Tommy.
enthusiasm.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Look at
You
Tom,
said-
that beautiful voice of his.
Yeah, it's angelic. You sang that with such like bravado and confidence.
No, I didn't.
That didn't even warrant to like roll with it. Like, yeah, I am. Tommy's like, I'm gonna put a period on the end of this sentence and move forward.
you idiot.
Oh man.
Yes,
I did
good.
want to ask a question, and maybe could be a warning for our lovely intern Tommy. But I saw a tweet that I thought made the most sense and perhaps the most relatable tweet for Gardner and Denman and I.
Yeah, follow
And
me.
the tweet
Mosslander 3.
read, "No, that's not even close. We're not doing that." So your 30s is basically cleaning up after your irresponsible health, financial, spiritual, emotional, and mental decisions of your 20s.
Oh.
Do we agree or disagree with that
Oh
assessment?
man.
In the throes of it.
I might need the 40s as well
Yeah.
if I make it that
I
long.
was gonna say, yeah. I don't know.
I've got some baggage, boys.
I really, really hope I can afford testosterone and HGH because by the time I can ever actually enjoy life, like I'm gonna need extras to have a body to also enjoy said life. Yeah, I'm just broken in so many ways. It's
Yeah.
over. Yeah.
I
I
would.
could not agree more with that tweet. Like I saw it and I was like, immediately went to my 21st birthday. And then the last thing I did when I was 29, and I was like, oh, that was a brutal 8-9 year stretch. Yeah, I am absolutely paying the price for what I did in the 20s.
Now, what were those items again that you're looking at that you're kind of
It kind of covered the bases.
Okay.
It was irresponsible health, financial, spiritual, emotional, and mental decisions.
So a lot of that I would buckle or kind of put all into
Package.
one category for me. Yeah, I'll package it into alcoholism. That would be the financial. It'll eat at your soul. It'll eat at your soul,
Yeah.
definitely. So I think all of that would just go into that, and then I've been trying to clean that up for a few years now. So yes, most certainly, I would agree with all those items.
Now,
Go ahead.
What-
Tommy.
granted, I have
What was the
eight-
moment for? Oh, go ahead, Tommy. I'm sorry.
Granted, I have 8 years left of all of this stuff.
Yeah.
But I eat salads. All right, I got a savings account. I
Oh.
can't afford to have bad health or mental health. So maybe I'll be okay.
Maybe.
I mean, I got a nice internship
Mm-hmm.
at a
That's polite of you.
does this count as a company? Yeah, a company.
It's a limited liability corporation.
company.
It has a business license, a
There's our
tax
crime
ID.
syndicate.
There's our melee
There
tomorrow.
are, oh my God.
Does this count as a
Oh
company?
man.
Is this a company or
I
a
don't know if it
gang?
was
We have a commercial lease at the
I didn't-
Kranzberg Arts Foundation's
I didn't know-
Zach building. Yes.
I didn't know if it's a company or an LLC.
That
'cause
it-
those are
it
two
is
very
a-
separate things.
It is a company. That is the designation of the company. Lisa wants to know all of Gardner's dark secrets.
Oh. Well, I mean,
no.
I don't know how we do that.
Yeah, that's going to get, well, I don't know. We have to check
I'll have
statute of limitations.
I'll have a panic attack trying to figure out where to begin. Oh, panic attacks. Those started happening in my 30s because I was trying to address what I had done previously in my life.
We've
So there you
There
go.
it is.
And also I was dealing with a crisis in spirituality.
Okay.
So there, I mean, yeah, you're right. Oh, no.
Travis, I think you were going to ask a question earlier, but I cut you off. Do you remember what that was?
I was going to ask what was the moment for those in the studio where you realize, oh dear God, I can't do this anymore?
Oh,
Do what anymore?
I guess how you're living.
The terrible, horrible, awful decisions that you were making in your 20s. Because as much as I would like to admit that, oh yeah, when I turned 30, all of a sudden I got my ish together. And necessarily wasn't the case. So I'm trying to pinpoint for anyone in the room, when did you realize
I
I'm
that,
I'm
hey,
forecasting
it's time to be an adult?
I'm forecasting summer 2023. I feel it
You're
coming.
predicting.
Yeah.
I guess.
So it hasn't happened yet.
Well, I
Oh my.
talk to you morons every day, so I haven't wised up
Fair
that
enough.
much yet. Yeah. Also, Jamie Moyer's Fancy Foyer thinks this is season 4 of The Office in the making, where Tommy's our boss by season 4. So
I'm Ed Helms.
That makes sense.
Tommy is the head of maybe a company. I don't know.
Head of our crime syndicate,
Yeah.
apparently.
For me, I guess it probably would have been around June 23rd, 2013.
oh boy.
How are you so specific on the date?
Well, the next day was when I began my sobriety journey.
Oh, man.
Congratulations.
And what a journey it's been.
The worst 6 years of my life.
Through every piece of cake in St. Louis.
Very aware of everything.
Oh man.
You know how bad it gets?
Incredibly
When
aware
I
of
need to just
everything.
get out and do something, I can't stop the brain with alcohol anymore. Here's what happens, Tommy. You want to know what happens?
Oh,
I'm
no.
going to tell you
Don't
what
tell him.
happens, Tommy.
Don't tell
Please,
him.
no, tell me what
I
happened.
start going down a rabbit hole and reading articles on the River de Pere from back in 2010, 2011. And guess who drives over to Forest Park last night, spends 45 minutes wandering through the park looking for the steel grates for the tunnels that are the River de Pere underneath Forest Park. I didn't
Jesus.
find it, but I'm searching,
God,
and I'll probably go back
We,
today.
let's go look together.
Okay.
I don't know. There
It
could-
Sounds
Look,
wonderful,
hey, man.
actually.
It could be
Hey.
flooding conditions. I don't want you guys out
You're
there.
telling me you think that's bad? We just talked about yesterday. I read about psychic vampires.
Yeah, I read about them
earnestly.
yesterday now, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're great, right?
Well, no, they're not great
Well,
because
like
instead
the
of sucking
learning
your
about
blood, they suck the life energy out of you.
I'll send you a podcast I listen to. It's really good.
Perfect.
Yeah, but don't feel bad about what you look at, because I look at worse.
Okay.
So,
Maybe
don't know
we
if
should go to
that's-
Forest Park and look for the
I don't know if
River de
that's
Pere tunnels.
the best place to do it. What about? Oh my, Travis. There's a. I don't need you to put the mirror up to anyone's face anymore. The rest of the show, things are getting real dark and drab here in the studio.
This is what he wanted all along.
it's kind of like it outside yesterday.
Oh.
Also, this is a nice one, and I probably agree with this. Fact from Jamie Moyer's Fancy Foyer. Everyone who thinks that they are the Jim of their office is actually Andy, himself included. Do. I think that's probably true. There's even a correlation to be made with The Office where Michael thinks he's Chandler and Joey from Friends. Everybody
He
always
thinks he's a combination of both.
Yes, everybody always thinks they're the cool guy.
I need to send you some questions here, Travis. A friend of mine and his brother who run a trivia company here in town, they run some bar trivia, and one of the bars they work for likes to do a theme trivia every month now. So they take one Tuesday out of the month and do a theme. They did Game of Thrones recently, and they did an Office one this week. And he sent me over the questions, and I kind of tested Josh in the office and Chris in the office with some of those questions. They did pretty
Okay.
well, but I think they were fair, and some of the questions were tougher, and I think you'd enjoy trying to give it a shot yourself.
Okay. I would definitely love to take a shot at it. I have honestly been preparing for the Great Office Trivia Challenge. I don't know if it'll ever happen in my lifetime, but I am absolutely prepared to answer everything Office specific. I feel like we should have maybe an episode dedicated at least an hour to Office trivia.
That would be a lot of fun, and actually, unless you're actively watching it, there's no way you're getting 100% answers and it sucks because these thoughts are so ingrained in your having had watched The Office. You're like, I know the moment that it is, but you get real specific and you forget how nuanced. Not that you forget how nuanced. I just don't know that unless you're actively watching it, you're in the middle of a binge and you happen to just really watch it really well. Ooh, it is a show you can definitely whiff on, even being a huge fan.
Have you seen every episode, Gardner?
I don't think I have.
Okay.
I don't think I've watched it straight through,
Okay.
but I've seen a lot, but I don't have the recollection of the show to memory like Travis and Chris do. Not even close.
I think I've seen every episode at least 3 times. There's only one episode I've seen specifically only twice, and I just completed that maybe a couple weeks ago, and
Yeah.
that's Scott's Tots. The Scott's Tots is the most difficult episode to get through because it's cringe worthy even for The Office. It's just
It's
really,
funny.
really cringe. It's
gonna-
incredibly funny, but it cringes hard. So that's probably the only one I've seen at least twice. Everything else, every episode, I think I've seen at least 3 times.
I'm going to give you a few of the questions. All right, you ready?
Okay, here we go. Fire
This
away.
is the first question that they had on this evening. What is the name of the Scranton regional manager before Michael Scott?
Ed Truck,
Correct. How did Robert Dunder meet Robert Mifflin?
Rotary Club.
Tommy?
On a college
Right.
campus, right?
During a tour of Dartmouth.
Tour of Dartmouth. Okay.
And let me give you one more. During the murder episode,
Okay.
The Office plays a role-playing mystery game entitled Bells, Bourbon, and Bullets, which is set in what city?
Oh, that's good. That's
I don't know
a
the
good
question.
You know
question.
it though, and I'll tell you why you know it. Do you want to guess?
No, you give it a go.
Savannah.
Savannah, of course.
And you know that because
You're right. Chris is right.
Ed
Chris
Helms,
is right.
That was some of a few of the questions they had on that night.
Yeah, that's what
Okay,
I was saying.
really
Like
good.
you
That's
can
a good trivia. That's good.
you can be a huge fan who's seen every episode multiple times, and there's just no way that you're going to remember all of that. I mean, I don't know.
I get into arguments with my friend about why Andy Bernard's the best character on that show.
Oh, that's not true at all. He thinks that, or you think that?
I think that.
You think so?
I think he's the best character.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I can
very
defend
entertaining.
it.
Chris, what do you have? Who do you
Uh,
have, Chris? Like overall, solid, all 9 seasons. Who's the best character of The Office?
I mean, Michael Scott's an all-timer, man. Like, how do you argue with that? I mean, yeah,
True.
Scottie Pippen was great, Rodman was great, but Jordan, you go Jordan. There's no, just because, don't let his consistent greatness and ridiculous nature take away from the fact of him being light years ahead of the pack. I would say Dwight Schrute's a number 2. I don't know.
Travis, who's
Pretty
your number
fantastic.
one?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to use Michael Scott as the free space on the bingo card. I think he will probably be number 1 for a lot of people. Chris does bring up a good point about Dwight being number 2. I would say Dwight's probably the second best character on The Office as far as like character arc, story, background. Like every time you dug deeper into Dwight, the more interesting and more hilarious he became. So I like Dwight being number 2 overall.
Now, we have a target practice going tomorrow. We're going to actually target practice Mark Wahlberg tomorrow. But
Oh boy.
I might scrap. We were going to do Devil's Advocate today. I might scrap it for today and say this. Tell me what you think. Because of just
Okay.
what Tommy said there. I think maybe we put Tommy in Devil's Advocate tomorrow and make him defend Andy Bernard as the best character on The Office, and you guys take another whatever character. I think that we probably should put Tommy on the spot to defend Andy Bernard as the best character in The Office.
Yeah, I think that's good.
I could do it right now.
Well,
I just think he's
probably
the
should
best.
do it tomorrow.
I could just be like, he's the best, and I
I'm
win.
good. No, that's not how arguments work, Tommy.
That's how opinions work.
Yeah, that's why they're terrible most of the time.
Uh-huh. And
You
then you
have
got to
to-
say the
You have to
a-hole
take us
thing.
through a process. You have to show us evidence. You have
Nuance.
to document
All right.
it. That's why you need time. That's what lawyers do.
Yes, I need a lot of time.
Okay.
There it is.
I would also love to get a TV attorney or a TV money guy because I'm curious. I've been reading a lot of stories about how NBC is about to start their own streaming service, potentially beginning in the year 2020. And so they're going to start to remove some of their properties off Netflix, like The Office, like Friends. And I'm curious as to the money that, the John Krasinski's and the Jenna Fishers of the world, Steve Carell's of the world are collecting now. Because if I understand it correctly, Netflix paid, I think, NBC close to $100 million to retain Friends to the end of this year. And I wonder how much of that goes back to the writers, producers, and of course the cast. So I would love to be able to talk to a TV entertainment lawyer and find out how that works, because I find that incredibly fascinating that those guys could be pulling in more money now than they were when they were actually on the show.
You know what you got? Money.
Thank you, Dave. Appreciate that.
I miss Dave.
I don't know if any of it would go back. Like, is this a royalties thing then? That'd be royalties.
I would imagine, wouldn't it be?
Residuals? But I don't know if
It would have to
counts
be, I
'cause
would
it's-
think. I mean, I don't think I understand NBC obviously owning the rights, but that has to trickle down back to the people who actually created the show, right?
Like, did they pay for just the rights? Because if it was just
But I
the
would
rights,
imagine
probably nothing would
royalties
go
are
back.
tied into the. Maybe you're right. I would love to see the answer to that, because I find that
I'm gonna
that's a
look it
lot
up.
of money. That's a lot of money, and I would imagine. I mean, I'm not saying that the cast is hurting for cash, because all of them are doing fairly well for themselves post The Office. But I'm curious if Mindy Kaling and BJ Novak still get some nice royalty checks uh, added on to their current royalty checks from the Netflix deal.
Oh, you would think so. I mean, if there's deals, and it just all depends on the individual. I remember that you hear people. I've heard creators of The Simpsons talk about the heyday of whatever agent put them together with the production company or something, and they were like, "Oh, I made most of my money on the DVD sales." Like they made it through that. So each individual could be
Right.
different. Each cast could be different. Everybody, it's super famous about how the Friends people all took the same money because they said, if you don't pay us, if you don't pay all of us, we all leave. I bet each one's different, but it has to be. I would hope for the creators and the actors and everything that they do get a piece of that, because you wonder, since it was an emerging technology and it wasn't what it is now, if that was even
Right.
covered in their original. Because you think about
Right.
The Office, they probably signed contracts in 2003. Think about that.
Well, I know with the writers, that previously that was the issue during the writers' strike. What we're seeing right now, they had the foresight where they knew that some of their, intellectual property was going to be very popular on these streaming services. Hence why the writers' strike happened to begin with. They wanted a piece of that pie. So I'd imagine the creators still get a piece of that. I'm curious if the actors are. What did you find, Tommy?
They do get residuals. Specifically Friends, I want you guys to each guess how much they make a year off residuals.
What's
Off
the-
residuals?
Yes.
Like each actor, what they make?
I
Each
would-
actor. They all make the same amount.
I would say they probably at least bring in $10 million a year off residuals.
on an annual basis?
Once a year.
$30,000
Gardner?
2 million.
20 million
What the?
per actor
per actor
for the original.
for Friends.
What's the source on that?
It's a bunch of sources.
That seems like a whole lot. Because
That makes sense.
well,
Well, think about how often Friends is on TV, though.
oh, for sure.
I'm about to
It's
say
everywhere.
that makes
Yeah.
sense. They're on TBS, and then of course they're on
They have
Netflix. So I
figures
would
made
not.
of themselves. They just had like a bunch of pop figures made of themselves. Like it's not a show that's been forgotten about. People still watch it.
That is
They have
awesome.
TBS
20 million a
marathons.
year.
Well, how
They
much
do.
How much those
They
Law and
do.
Order people make then? That's on every second of the day.
Due to reruns, I want to give some credit to Lisa Kudrow. She was just on WTF with Mark Maron, and he asked how do you still do, how do you do with the Friends things? Do you make a little money? And she was like, yeah, just barely grazed over it. There was no follow-up, no amount discussion. To me, it sounded like it was like, oh yeah, not mad about it. That's insane. Do you think that's inflated?
No,
though?
I think she was essentially going like,
Let's
I
not-
can buy a yacht at the end of the year if I wanted to.
Yeah, let's not get into it. Yeah. Wow.
I
that's
know that's
insane.
crazy to me. 20 million is a lot of money, man. That's a lot of damn money for a show that's been off the air for what, 8, 9 years?
Longer
Oh,
than that.
way longer than that, right?
It's been more than 9 years since Friends was on television.
has to be. I mean, I would say close to
Give me 1 second.
20.
That's hard for me to.
No, it hasn't been 20 years. No,
I think it was like
Fringe went off the air like in
2006.
'08. Yeah,
I think it was
it couldn't be
2006.
20 years.
2004.
Okay.
So
15.
15. That's
15
crazy.
years.
Damn, 15 years. I didn't think it was that long.
We're old.
I'm
Yes.
not.
Yeah.
That's a lot, but that's pretty sweet. So, I mean, so those guys literally do these projects. And I wouldn't say projects, they still do shows. Joey's on the successful show on CBS, and David Schwimmer will pop up in a series here and there. And so, but those guys ultimately just do that just to get out of the house. They don't need that check.
I guess not, man.
Yeah, that'd be hard for me to go back to work knowing that. I mean, that's like
Right.
it's like my I've won Publishers Clearinghouse or something. I'm getting that every year consistently.
How many residuals do you think you'll get from our first year of evening AM radio, Travis?
I mean, there's no doubt. I kind of did the math the other night. In about 25 years, I'm looking forward to at least $75 a year.
Mm-hmm. Right. That you accidentally left in a couch cushion there, and they're like, "Oh, hey, we returned this to you." Right. That's the only way.
Probably
that's
what it is.
Hey, bad weather, not including. It's about to be the weekend, and weather is going to be nicer. You've got Buzz's Hawaiian Grill to hit all over St. Louis. That's right. Check them out. Family owned, right here in St. Louis. Fresh ingredients, great food. Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. Be sure to support them because they support us. Try the poke, the masubi, all their wonderful Hawaiian fare for you and yours at Buzz's Hawaiian Grill. Gardner, how do you think? How you feeling about a break here on We Are Live?
In just one moment, if we could.
Okay.
I wanted to get to something before I completely forget about it.
Please.
You know, earlier in the week, I think it was earlier this week, I had shown the photo of me with a filter on it. This one right here.
No. Oh, Aunt Gardner.
Yeah.
Aunt Gardner.
Phyllis. It's Phyllis from The Office.
Oh, no.
Yeah, Snapchat. Hey, we're both from St. Louis. Must be a St. Louis.
The popcorn's burned.
I wish we could do the kind of the animation where you just kind of talk through my mouth or whatever that might be. And then also, I used the Snapchat filter. Someone put that up for me. But Travis, you gave it a go, did you not? With the Snapchat filter?
I did.
Oh, no.
I did.
Let's take a look at
Oh, boy.
the final outcome from whatever the hell we call this. There you
Oh,
go.
no. Oh,
There it
no.
is.
You
I
look
call
like Sherry Shepherd got hit with a bat. Oh, man. Oh. Travis, you handsome woman. Oh, no.
I call this Haikwisha.
Oh, man. Is that your character's name that'll allow you to get the #1 FM radio job in St. Louis?
Look at the
The chest hair adds to it. I will, for dramatic effect, Travis, you get an A. That's fantastic. Because it kind of, you're like, oh, she has tattoo. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
It's a chest tattoo.
Who's that?
That's me.
Oh, Tommy just posted his. Oh, boy. This is awkward.
How is it? Are you pretty?
It's real good.
Oh, boy.
I
Bet you Tommy looks like Jennifer Aniston.
I actually look like Taylor Swift.
Oh, gross.
Oh.
So what are they going to do with all of our faces that we're allowing to get just...
Skynet's going to hunt us down one by one.
Yeah, that's fair. All the robots.
That's a wrap for all of us.
Yeah.
that's already done. It doesn't matter what we do anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're past the point of no return, so it's okay.
Yeah, we're way down that road. It's so far gone, it doesn't make any sense anymore. They can plant any crime, any terrorist activity on us whenever they want. That's why I think it's silly for people to continue to hoard weapons. For what? The government has already figured out a way to completely destroy you when they're ready. So
Yeah, we're done.
go for it, folks. Just live your life.
The great Black Sheep has a couple comments. He says, you catfishing son of a... I'm deleting my Plenty of Fish profile. Travis, you catfished a listener? Oh, no.
No comment.
And also...
Hey, man, this is New York cost of living. Got to be paid for somehow.
Oh, the Black Sheep also letting us know that earlier
Hey, baby
whenever...
girl. Cutie.
Oh, stop it. When we were singing, The black sheep resides in Jefferson City, Missouri. By the way, 29 tornadoes touched down in Missouri yesterday. My brother's in California messaged us. He's like, is everyone okay? Like, what's happening? I'm like, oh, I slept through it. It's good.
That's why I live in Illinois.
Yeah, you're right across the border. Well, actually, it does matter. The river does matter.
Yeah, it does.
Because there's an urban heat effect that kind of slows the storm once it reaches the city, but then as it crosses the water and picks back up across the river, it becomes more intense once again.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
It's a bad issue. Black Sheep says that singing from earlier is easily the most devastating thing he's lived through in the last 24 hours.
Gloria, Gloria.
That was rough. Even tornadoes don't want to go to Illinois, guys. So, hey, that'll do it for the first hour of We Are Live. Big thanks to Tech Electronics for all of the help putting together our studio here at Midcoast Media. Midcoast.media for more information. Also, be sure to subscribe on iTunes, share with a friend, and come to our show tonight. Big comedy show. We'll be back on the other side with Mia Jackson, star of Marvelous Mrs. Mia, tonight. We'll be right back.
Gloria, 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 Gloria.